Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. Alright, this shouldn't be a fairly long video. Just straight to the point, man. We're gonna play this video. We'll hit a couple scriptures. And it's just, you know, to motivate brothers and inspire brothers in a sense, okay, to go hard. And if you're going hard, to go harder. Alright? Alright, so we'll begin in about a minute. Turn and face the east, giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone which rule well and teach well and sincerity taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. All right, it's your brother Yerami Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson. Through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Makakadash, the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, Yahawah equals He exists, He is. Bahasham equals equals in the name, Ba meaning in, Ha meaning the, Sham meaning name. Yahawashi equals He saves, He delivers, He is salvation. And then Bahasham in the name. And then once again, Rakah, Kadash, Rakah meaning spirit, Kadash meaning holy. So putting it all together, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. So we come in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. At the end of the day, Matthew 28, 18, 19, okay, tells us to baptize in those names. All right, Acts 4 and 12 tells you that it's only one name that you can call upon. Okay, Proverbs 30 and 4 tells you, do you know the Father's name and the Son's name? Letting you know that they are separate. All right. So Proverbs 18 and 10 lets you know that the Father's name is a strong tower, Yahawah. Okay, so that name is a strong tower. So, you know, this name is you're gonna forever praise these names. Okay, at the end of the day, in the kingdom, right now, in general. As the scriptures state also, the elect will praise his holy name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just go ahead and get into it. Brothers may come in, but hey, Shalawam to everybody that's up in here. Hey, Shalawam Zaquan, Shalawam to the brother Yahweh, Shalawam to the brother Shaquah, y'all, and Shalawam to G-Man. All right, so I'm going to play this video dealing upon discipline. And the title of this lesson will be entitled, Discipline My Friend. All right, so let's get into it.
There's a level of discipline that makes people look at you with fear. And today you'll discover exactly how to get there. Have you ever seen that person who never fails? Who wakes up every day at the same time, does the same things and just never stops? While everyone else gives up by the 3rd week, they keep going. While everyone else makes excuses, they show up. And you know what people say about them? Man, that's not normal. There's an ancient system created by Zen monks in Japan that produces exactly this kind of frightening consistency. They call it gyoji, the practice that perpetuates itself. And once you understand how it works, you'll never break a goal again. But there's a catch. This system isn't for everyone. It requires you to kill a part of yourself you never knew existed. But before I show you how it works, subscribe to the channel, like it below, and comment on the habit you most want to create in your life. This helps me a lot and shows me that you're genuinely interested in changing. Let's go. Chapter 1.
All right, just before we get into it, I'm going to hit this. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 18 and 14. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline and that diligently seek after his judgments. Now, discipline is what? You're building discipline from instruction and guidance. So discipline is a structure. It's an order. It's a way that you do things, and more so, it's a consistent basis. You know, that's the definition of being disciplined, because you're consistent with what you're doing. Okay, you may produce a lesson. You may hit the gym, right? But you got some individuals, they hit the gym 1 week, 2 weeks, and then they just, it was just a phase. They don't go no more. So they're no longer working out. You can't treat this truth like that. You know, once you start to plow and plant seeds, you have to be consistent with it and constantly doing it, man. You know, this is a workout. You are working yourself out spiritually and building yourself and adding layers to your spiritual muscles, which you've already developed from growing. You know what I'm saying? So, Salakia. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is going to have mercy on you if you receive that discipline and diligently seek after his judgments. So what does that mean in that sense of diligently seeking? It's doing the workout correctly, right? You got brothers that may work out, but they lifting the weights the wrong way. So they're not getting the ultimate gain of that exercise. And how do you know how to do it properly? You have to be taught, right? By those that worked out before you, you know? So it's all about order and diligently doing the workout. Not just doing it, not just being a Jew on the outward, but also on the inward, knowing how to properly do it. This is not about looks. Some guys got big ass muscles, but they're weak and they have no courage, you know? So this is more so about heart, man. It's more so about doing this stuff right. It's not about looking strong, but it's actually about being strong. You know, let's keep it going. And YouTube, TikTok, this is for fair use, fair use.
Kidding. The story I'm about to tell you happened to a programmer named Raphael. He had a smart guy, a successful career, but he had one problem. He couldn't stick to any habit for more than 2 weeks. Gym. He'd stop after 2 months. Meditation. 1 week and that was it. Reading. He'd buy a book, read 3 pages, and then forget it in the drawer. The pattern was always the same. Monday, total motivation. Wednesday, first mental negotiation. Friday, complete surrender. Sunday, promises about the next week. Raphael tried everything. Habit tracking apps, rewards, accountability partners. Nothing worked because he was fighting something he couldn't even imagine. The very architecture of his brain. Until the day he discovered why Zen monks can meditate for 800 years straight without missing a single day. And no, it's not willpower. It's something much deeper and much more frightening. Chapter 2. The Secret of the Monks.
So let's touch on that. All right, having, you know, you can do all of this, but once again, consistency is not there. So this is Proverbs 12:23. A prudent man concealeth knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaimeth foolishness. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. So a characteristic of an elect brother is being diligent, all right, and not being slothful, not being lazy, but being consistent, all right, having the proper names, okay? Like this individual right here, which we're going to get you up out of here, but you're showcasing that you don't have diligence. You haven't truly understood the proper name by your Hebrew being off, all right? But I'm working on my diligence and I'm working on my discipline and I'm not entertaining you. So we're going to get you up out of here, all right? Because at the end of the day, man, we only here for the elect, okay? Not here to entertain, not here to go back and forth. All right, so keeping it going. The heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. The slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. So the substance, the understanding is we may not have a lot, right? But we have more than the rest of the world. We are the richest individuals on this planet because we have wisdom, because we have discipline, because we are diligent, because we seek out this truth and we grasp hold on it, you know, and we are serious Therefore, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is going to have mercy upon us, where your individual that's rich and all of that, he hasn't cared about the benefits that the Most High has given him, and it's going to be no mercy upon him. So real wealth is this truth. We are the richest men on this planet, man. If you call it on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, keeping the doctrine and moving correctly and doing what was commanded of you, So be diligent and be disciplined in this truth. Don't take it as a joke. Don't take it as a trend. Don't take it as a phase. All right? It is not that. So let's hit chapter 2 of this.
In Zen temples, there's a rule that seems simple, but changes everything. Gyoji. Literally translated, it means continuous practice without gaps. Without gaps. Do you understand what that means? It means that since 1200 AD, every single day at 3:30 a.m., a bell rings at Yahawashi temple. And since 1200 AD, every single day the monks wake up, not at 3:25 a.m., not at 3:35 a.m., exactly at 3:30 a.m. You want to know what never happens in that temple? No monk lies in bed thinking, today I'm going to jump. The question simply doesn't exist in their minds. Why? Because they understand something you don't yet. Your brain categorizes every commitment into two boxes, reversible or irreversible. Reversible commitments become mental negotiations. Irreversible commitments simply happen. When a monk takes his vows in front of the entire community, he's not making a promise. He's changing his identity. He's not promising to try to meditate. He's declaring himself a meditator. The community witnesses it. The identity changes. The negotiation ends. A Harvard University neuroscientist who has been studying habits for 15 years has discovered something revolutionary. When you make a behavior public, your primitive brain interprets failure as a survival threat. Our ancestors who lost status in the tribe died. Your brain still works that way. That's exactly what Raphael did. He stopped making private promises and started making public declarations. He wrote on paper, I am a person who meditates 20 minutes every day at 5 a.m. for 90 consecutive days. He signed it. He posted it on social media. He told everyone. His girlfriend said, you're being too dramatic. His co-workers said, man, you're trying too hard. Perfect. Every person he knew became fuel. Every morning he wanted to give up. He thought about having to look everyone in the face.
And we don't really got to go through all of this, but Romans 12:1, it comes to mind. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of power, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto power, which is your reasonable service. Understanding that this work is, in a sense, it's a public work. Okay, you can't hide behind a camera. It's commanded of you. If you are a prophet, if you have the fire in you, to hit the corners, hit the highways and the hedges and preach, right? So this is a public thing. You shall be made a public spectacle, right? So this is, and that's what? That's a promise, in a sense, that you're going to be consistent with it, right? Because once you start to hit the highways, hit the hedges, and even do lessons on the internet and all of that, you are representing the ministry, man. So don't bring no blame to the ministry and just fall out. Or those that may have followed you, those that may have been listening to you, they like, oh, you really didn't believe, just so your God is not that powerful, or like, what's going on with that? All right. So their faith would also be deterred because your faith was deterred. This is why you don't put, for individuals, you don't put your faith in men, as the scriptures state. Don't be no yes man. You have to know this thing for yourself. All right? Because you may have a teacher here and there that may fall out, that may, I don't know, regardless, something happens. All right? Or let's say he passes. All right? He passes in Yahawashi. Right? You have to continue. You have to keep going. Okay? So let's get another precept. This is Matthew 22:9. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So once again, this is a public thing. You have to go out and declare. Prophets declare. Let's go to Amos 3:7. Surely Yahawah power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. And they what? They declare. All right? They are those trumpets that are blowing. They are sounding. They are letting you know. I guess some people may be looking at the earth, looking at the sky and expecting to hear actual trumpets. No, man. You're hearing the prophets telling you what's going on at this point in time. Let's go to Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. We are letting our people know how they're going off, what they're doing that's incorrect, correcting them, rebuking them, reproving them, giving them instruction. If they take the instruction, then that will lead to discipline, and that hopefully will lead to them being diligent, right? But, hey, once again, it's not for everybody. We understand that. All right. I had another precept, living sacrifice. Another precept came to mind, but I just cannot remember it. Came to mind beforehand. Yahawah desire to come back. I'm a skip forward some. Try to go to chapter 2, 3. I ain't gonna play all of this, but as a matter of fact, I'll let some more of it go, and just hit on it some more.
Admit he was just another guy who couldn't deliver on his promises. Day 3 brought the first real test. The alarm clock was 5 a.m. Immediately, my mind began its usual routine. You're exhausted. This isn't healthy. One day won't make a difference. But something fundamental had changed. The thought of posting online that he'd lost after 3 days was unbearable. Having to look his girlfriend in the face and admit he'd given up again. The public declaration had made giving up more painful than continuing. But here the real problem began. Chapter 3, the internal war.
There you go, and I'm gonna let that go. But with that being said, you should have a conscience. All of us should have a conscience. Okay, somebody that you. And it's not really a person, but it's like you gotta, in your conversation with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, you gotta think about letting them down. You don't want to let Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi down. Okay, when you serving them, you don't want to let them down. So you don't want to give up your conscience, right? And that's more so fearing Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So that wisdom should be an encouragement, because what would happen to you if you on BS. We persuade men by the terror of the Lord. We persuade men by the fear, right? We show you the judgments. We show you what's going on. We show you this and that. We telling you about SNAP and all this stuff being took away. Okay, how they coming down with the ICE, the DHS, the Border Patrol. We telling you all these type of things. And we was telling you, even before they started messing with Southern Kingdom, and they was just messing with the Northern Kingdom, we was telling Southern Kingdom, hey, they coming for y'all next. And what are they doing now? They're coming after the Southern Kingdom, which is the Negroes, all right, the Jamaicans, the Haitians, so-called. So those warnings were given. So we told you, but our people don't care. They don't consider, all right, because they don't know their owner. All right, coming from the book of Isaiah. Now let's go to Hebrews 12, starting at verse 4. And this is what? A father's discipline. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. Have we resisted unto blood? Have we bled for this truth yet? Right? You got to ask yourself these questions. You might have been persecuted. You might have lost your job. You might have got spit at, whatever it may be. Okay? But have you been tortured? Okay? Have you been locked up? Have you, you know what I'm saying? This stuff is what it comes with it. Just to let brothers know, this is what comes with this thing. It's not cupcakes. It's not ice cream. It's not sugar. It's a whole lot of bitter. You have bitter and you have sweet. You got to eat the whole roll. If you are one who's going to faint, you're faint-hearted in the midst of some trouble, then this may not be for you. And this is why you do the spiritual workouts, to build yourself up. This is why you pray and fast. This is why you have a constant communication with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You pray without ceasing because you're asking, hey, when this happened, please, Baba Kashar, give me that spirit. Okay? Don't allow me to, be turned over to a reprobate mind. Don't allow me to take the C-hip. All right? Understanding that it's no such thing as the free will, and the Most High controls every single aspect of your life. So when you're praying, Brother Kakama always bring it out, that prayer is to beg. You are begging the Most High to constantly deal with you, as King David did. And even in your prayer, you should be disciplined to pray. When you wake up, make this a habit to pray, right? Before you brush your teeth, do whatever you got to do. Pray. And when you know that you conscious, you open your eyes. Even before you open your eyes, pray. You know what I'm saying? This should be a habit of yours. All right? Before you go to sleep, pray. In the middle of the day, pray. On the way to work, when you get in your car, pray. Before you go somewhere, pray. When you make it to that destination, pray. Pray without ceasing. This is constant. It's constant. You want to have that ongoing conversation. You can text a female every hour, right? But you can't talk to the Most High every hour? You got to ask yourself these questions, man. Verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of Yahawah, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. Don't be faint-hearted. Don't give up when it gets hard, when it gets tough, when the challenges come. For whom Yahawah loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. So, as a son of the Most High, not being a bastard, but as a son, you coming into this thing, you should expect to go through this stuff, man. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 2 and 1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahawah, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Discipline is going to get you through this. Being disciplined and being consistent. All right? Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And that's having the faith that in these latter days, and if you are martyred for this truth, you will be increased and brought back in that everlasting body. So faith and discipline go hand in hand. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Patience and diligence and discipline go hand in hand. Searching, man, you could be looking for something and you may not find it right away, but you got to have the patience to consistently search. You got to have the patience, to be diligent, to go through it. Lose that, I want it now. Lose that mindset that's been fed to you by America. That's not real, man. Actually appreciate the hard work, appreciate the time that you put in, Stop allowing social media to give you artificial dopamine where you get this, and that's what's wrong with most of these women. They have an artificial dopamine that's coming in because they get the likes, the comments, the shares. Okay? That's not real life. Okay? Honestly, for you females, these guys really don't like you. They just want to do something to you and send you on your way. All right? But you getting gassed up by all these likes, comments, and shares that the internet is openly giving you. But that's not real life, man. All right? It's pointless. That's what Esau has created. Everything is artificial. And it's going to damage your psyche. You know, doesn't Esau search out things diligently, right? He searches out iniquity diligently. He knows how to mess you up, right? So keeping it going. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Discipline is required to not, be altered, to not give up in those time frames, to truly have the armor on, and to not change and lose your loyalty. That's another one. Discipline, diligence, all right, patience, all ties into loyalty as well. These are traits of an elect man, of a hopeful elect man, right? Keeping it going. Verse 7, if ye endure chastening, power dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons? Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chasteneth us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, right? Discipline doesn't, when you building it, when you, going back to the workout analogy, when you working out and you at the end of that rep, it don't feel good. You know, muscle failure doesn't feel good, but you doing it to the end and you know you can't do no more. Right? But what is it going to do? It's going to build the muscles. It's going to build it up. And you're going to see your reward later on. You don't see your reward automatically. Right? So this is also going into hard work. But grievous, nevertheless, afterward, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness. What? Afterward, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. All right, so put in the time, man. Be consistent. Constantly do it. Constantly grow. Constantly build yourself up. You know, I'm gonna let a little bit more of this go. We pretty much hit the point. You know, I don't want this to be too long.
Even with all this social pressure, Raphael was still waging war every single day. His body didn't care about his reputation. He wanted to sleep when he was tired. The public declaration ended the mental negotiation, but he still fought biology every morning. That's when he discovered the monk's second principle, non-negotiable hours. Every day you waste mental energy on the same stupid question. When will I do this? Now or after breakfast, in the morning or at night? This decision burns up glucose in your brain that should be used for actual practice. You're wasting your fuel deciding when to drive instead of actually driving. Raphael chose 5 a.m. Not because he was a morning person who loved watching the sunrise. He chose 5 a.m. because the world was asleep. No messages, no emails, no distractions, no excuses. The time wasn't about optimization, it was about elimination. Eliminating every possible reason to do it later. The first week was hell. Your body fought against it every morning, that's normal. Your body is a machine that works with patterns, and you're forcing it to build a new pattern. It resists. In the second week, something changed. He started waking up 2 minutes before his alarm. His body had begun preparing for what now awaited him. On the 14th, the alarm rang, and his feet touched the floor before his conscious mind even engaged. No thought, no decision, just movement.
Boom. Let me stop it right there, because what are you doing? What is the body, the flesh, the temple? You have to train it. It has certain habits that's already been trained into you, you know, that you had in the world. Let's say you're coming out of the world. You got to retrain your body. That's about reforming, converting. So these worldly patterns, you got to get that up out of you. You know, that's what discipline is. You're correcting errors. This is what the truth does. You're correcting errors that you've been taught by Esau. Starting with his educational system, the trash that he taught us, the hogwash, man. All right, so let's go to Romans 8. And let's get it. a lot, man, this whole thing, but I don't want to read it all. Let me see. Yeah, we can start at 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace, because the carnal mind is enmity against power, for it is not subject to the law of power, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please power. So the desires of the flesh is not what the Most High wants. This is what? This is sinful flesh. You know, you let this flesh take over, you give up to your fleshly desires, man. You might be hollering at every chick that you see in the mall. All right, every female that you see. You know, not applying wisdom, where she may have a husband or things of that nature. All right? Your fleshly desires, man. You just doing BS, eating all the sweets that you don't know. You know you don't supposed to be eating. All right? These things are going to catch up to you if you follow after the flesh. So you have to be spiritually minded and use wisdom and understand that furthermore, this place is polluted. So the food is defiled. The women are defiled. The TV, the entertainment is defiled. The sports, it's trash. It's not real. It's defiled. It's polluted. You know, football is not real, man. NBA is not real. It's all rigged. They have scripts. So it's all polluted. Right? So you can't get caught up in the wine of Babylon. Right? And you can use the world, but don't abuse it. All right? So keeping it going. Verse 9. But ye are not. Who is that? That's hopeful elect. That's a hopeful elect man and a woman. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. So if so, be that the spirit of power dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. And if Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahawashi from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Hamashiach from the dead shall also quicken to be made alive your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. And it requires discipline to, it requires discipline to read scriptures. You tell yourself, hey, I'm going to read scriptures, for an hour or more. Or, hey, I'm gonna sit down and I'm going to put together a lesson. Right? It requires discipline. Everybody's not doing that. Right? This thing of ours, everybody's not participating. You have 1%, in a sense, like 1% of our nation, right? And then like the same thing with the Edomites. You got they 1%, which is the elite. So these are the main characters of this story, man. The elites, which is the banking families, and then the prophets of Yasharahla. And these are going to be the most diligent individuals. These are the individuals that really know everything that's going on. We know that they trying to unalive us, and they know that we rising up. It's a beautiful thing when you sit back and look at it. I love the story that we living in right here, So with that mindset, you got to be like, yo, Esau working every single day. He's not giving up. He's not sitting back. He's not taking vacations. He's not taking breaks. Every single day he's fixated on unaliving us. He does not sleep unless he can do wicked. Right? He constantly comes up with new ways to take us out. And we have to constantly be watching as watchmen to examine and report back the matter to give it to the sheep that are actually listening to the report, right? So it's having that discipline to stand your post, to stand watch, because if you don't have the discipline to stand watch, regardless if you tired, you sleepy, it's raining, it don't feel good, it's cold, in the military, man, I had to stand watch and it was cold, it was freezing, all right. Things of that nature, but you still got to stand that watch. You know, you can't fall back and cry. Hey, I don't want to do it. No, you can't. You signed up for this. Remember that, man. And Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi chose you. John 6:44, man. He drew you. So that fire's inside you. Don't hide your talent. All right? But make it multiply. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it going. We're going to read 11. But if the spirit of him... Nah, where was we at? Salakia. We was down here. All right, we'll do 13. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. Controlling these habits, controlling these fleshly desires and these worldly desires that the flesh is instilling, that is pushing at you, man. For as many as are led by the spirit of power, they are the sons of power. Going back to that Hebrews, which we just read, man. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby ye cry, Abba, Father. All right. The spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of power. So with that being said, I'm gonna identify discipline. You know, brothers is going to identify discipline. We're going to identify doctrine. We're going to identify the spirits of one another. This is why you have to try the spirits. All right, brother may be calling on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. We still got to try. We still got to see the doctrine. We still got to see the understanding to make sure this is the correct and proper spirit. You know, it's a lot of individuals out here that may have the name, but they don't have the understanding. And that goes back to those that work out, but they wasn't doing the reps correctly. Going back to that analogy, man. You over here, you doing the reps, but you doing them hella fast. Your muscles ain't really, you know what I'm saying? And you doing low weight. All right? It's better to do reps slow and stable, okay? Just because you doing it fast, that don't mean nothing. You trying to show out for people. You trying to show out for the people in the gym. No, make sure you got the right form. That's the thing. Form, man. You know, I'm gonna let this get to chapter 4 and then I'm gonna end it.
Here's what most people don't understand about fixed hours. It's not about finding the perfect schedule. It's about removing time as a variable. When you do something at different times every day, you're asking your brain to make a new decision every time. When the schedule is fixed, your brain can't argue with a constant. But Raphael discovered a new problem. His schedule was fixed, but he kept changing what he did during that time. Some mornings, meditation felt right. Other days, he read. Sometimes, a few push-ups. His brain had found a new negotiating point. Instead of arguing about when, he started arguing about what. 20 minutes at 5 a.m. became reliable, but the practice itself was chaos. The fixed schedule had solved half the equation, but his mind was still finding loopholes to negotiate. He'd eliminated the when, but not the what. And this is where Dogen's teaching on forms became controversial, because it requires you to do exactly the same thing every single day until your mind completely surrenders. Chapter 4.
And that's what we talking about with waking up, praying. You doing the exact same thing. Waking up, praying. Praying before you go to sleep. Constantly praying. Right? This should be habitual. And it gets to the point where brothers, I know that brothers do it. Brothers that pray every morning, it's like that's natural because you trained your body. So your body is automatically programmed. Your flesh is automatically programmed to do that. It's in your conscience. You know, I don't even think about it anymore. All right. It's just, hey, I wake up, the water Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, you know, and then talk. Just talk. You know, so it's about things being habitual. For brothers that want to do more lessons or do lessons, okay, just start doing them. Set aside an hour, 2 hours, you know, prep, look up the precepts, go into what you want to do. But before you even get to that point, meditate on the lesson that you want to bring out, right? You can start that the day before. Meditate. Talk to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right. And then when it gets to the point of you doing it, it's going to flow. This is like camp. Man, I meditate on camp all week. And I take in what I'm about to talk about through my watching, through what I'm watching, through what's going on. You know? And then when I sit down and I put it together, it's like, okay, you know, all this stuff happened over the week. It could be encounters that you had over the week, stuff you went through, a simple encounter at the grocery store or something. You know what I'm saying? And you could bring out some scriptures on that. This life is full of inspiration. It's never a time where you be like, man, I don't know what to do a lesson on. That's a poor man's excuse, man. That's a slothful excuse. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that's pretty much the lesson. All right, it's a really quick one. You know, yeah, every exactly. Cause what? What is it? Dignity. What is it, man? Folly is set in great dignity. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So yeah, every day is folly. You're gonna see so much folly, like these guys, like a Casanat or a freaking I Show Speed. These guys have no real type of skills, man. These guys are the degenerates, man. Who are these guys, man? They made famous off of really nothing, you know, talking. It's no type of real talent, all right? But folly is set in great dignity, you know? And you got people idolizing these individuals. It's crazy, right? Like hey, brothers might get mad, but like a LeBron James, man. This dude's not like that. To me, I don't think he's amazing like that. All right? Because I grew up watching Kobe, Vince, Tracy, Steve Francis. I grew up watching, you know what I'm saying? But hey, if LeBron's your guy, I don't think he's amazing. Okay? But hey, folly is set in great dignity. It ain't like the older days. It ain't like what we came up on. You know? This is a piss poor excuse for a generation. This is a piss poor excuse for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Michael Jordan and Kobe better than LeBron. Exactly. You know? And they put in more work. They put in, you know, exactly. So hey, with that being said, I'm going to face the east. All praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone once again. As always, Kwam Yasharahla, Kwam Yasharahla. May Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. And as always, abide but ball. Okay? Hey, Yahawaratazah. Be live again tomorrow. All right, Shalawam, brothers. The water for tapping in. And may everybody, you know, have a good night, man. Shalawam. I see y'all, brothers. Shalawam.